All right, 3 o'clock on a Monday. Welcome aboard the Postgame Show along with Terry Ford. I'm Jay Phillips. Thank you for being with us. Obviously, a lot to get to on today's program as Gamecock Nation continues to struggle with, wrestle with, comprehend exactly what went wrong on Saturday night. And not just a defeat at the hands of the Vanderbilt Commodores, but one I might call humbling. Some have even said worse than that. I get it. It was hard to watch, not because it's Vanderbilt, but maybe because some of the things that South Carolina can do, they simply didn't, especially defensively. Listen, it really was nothing short of humiliating at times, at least in the moment. I suppose with some level of reflection, you can back off of a word that's quite that strong. But it was a beatdown. Make no mistake about it. It was a beatdown. Vanderbilt came in here and did everything they wanted to do. And then some. And it was impressive. And you must give the opponent credit for how they prepared to come into Williams-Brice Stadium on Saturday night. South Carolina's offense was good early. It was. You scored. You were moving the ball again. And look, we can sit here and talk about the interception. Y'all, every quarterback that plays football throws interceptions from time to time. It's just part of the sport. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not. If you're DJ Lagway and you throw 4 or 5 of them in a game on the road, yeah, that turns into something different, right? But that's not what Lenoris was doing, and he missed a guy. And Vandy does a nice job of disguising some things. But you were moving the football. But then after that, even when Lenoris was still in the game, it felt like my word here, kind of retracted into something that was a little bit more conservative, a little bit more, I don't know if manageable is the right word. And then Lenoris goes down and things change. Look, South Carolina continued to move the football, sort of. The difference is that once you got up to around the 30-yard line of Vanderbilt, it all bogged down. And again, credit Vanderbilt for that. So it reminded me, way back in the day, of some Ellis Johnson defenses where Ellis didn't really care if you gained a mile between the 20s. You just weren't going to score. And that's what Vanderbilt did the other night. South Carolina ran a little bit better. Not great, but better. The offensive line at times was a little bit better, but not enough. And with Luke Doty at the helm, this isn't about Luke so much, but look, you can see there's such a clear drop in talent and ability and the things that Lenoris can do. And, how prepared was Luke for some of these things? Again, at times it was okay, but let's be honest with ourselves. He didn't score after the first drive. That's the name of the game. You didn't score again, period. So, you can look at it however you want to look at it. Again, there were some things that were all right, but when you don't score, what does it really matter? And it says a lot, too, I might add, about exactly where South Carolina's quarterback room is right now. If Luke Doty, a guy that had been playing some wide receiver and some special teams and some quarterback and some of this and some of that, is the bona fide number 2 quarterback on a Southeastern Conference team that believed, at least going into the season, that it had a real shot at the college football playoff. So that's going to have to change quickly. Whether it's Luke getting better or whether it's Aaron Nolan getting better or Cutter Woods getting better. You can't make midseason trades in college football. So this is who you got if Lenoris can't go. And by the way, I doubt we know anything more about Lenoris until South Carolina is forced to report on it Wednesday night. It may well be that Shane has more news tomorrow at his 1 o'clock press conference. But right now, if I were rolling the dice, I wouldn't bet on that at this point. We talked about the offense. And while it wasn't great, the defense, this is what surprised me. I really couldn't understand just how Vanderbilt continued to baffle South Carolina's defense. I made a point on Twitter Saturday night during the game that one of the things that was surprising me was that this was happening to a team, South Carolina, that is more talented. That's not to sit here and smack Vandy around. But let's just, if we're going to use even things as basic as recruiting rankings to try and judge levels of talent from one roster to another, South Carolina has more talented football players, period. Doesn't make them a better team, but it does mean they've got really good football players, and we know they do. But Vandy out-executed you. Look, Tim Beck, I I don't know how many game balls Clark Lee gave out in the locker room, but Tim Beck probably deserves a couple of them. That's their OC. He had Carolina's defense on its heels often. 6 of 12 on third down, made their only fourth down, but they scored. When they got down low, they scored. And they just kept Carolina trying to guess. You could tell Carolina got frustrated. The Vandy confidence only grew throughout the course of the game. And again, my term here, I felt like Vandy shielded a lot of their weaknesses and that Carolina never adjusted. In other words, there are certain things that Vanderbilt simply, they're not going to out-athlete you. They must out-scheme you. They must out-execute you. And they did. It reminded me a lot. I told Terry this earlier. It reminded me a lot, if you can remember, of a game with Missouri here now 3 seasons ago. I believe it was 2022. And I said on a Monday program, like I'm saying today, South Carolina didn't lose that game on a Saturday night as much as Missouri won that game by Wednesday in practice. I feel the exact same way about what Vanderbilt did this past weekend. They had this game won in practice in Nashville before they ever got on a plane to come to Columbia. You still got to go execute. So you can talk about being out-coached. And a lot of people are saying that, and I don't disagree with it in the grand scheme. But being out-coached also means you got to out-execute from a player perspective, and I thought Vanderbilt did. This is an embarrassing result for South Carolina. Not going to hide that, not going to sugarcoat that. And it has absolutely, locally, regionally, nationally, reset some level of expectation for what South Carolina football can be, should be, will be. And a game like that should. I say often, when you lose, tell me how you lost. If South Carolina had lost like Clemson had lost or like Tennessee had lost, we'd be maybe saying something very different here. Maybe not, because losing to Vanderbilt is something nobody in the SEC wants to do. And South Carolina had not done it since 2008. So there's no silver linings. There's no, hey, but, or hey, if just. Now, you got beat by 24 points in your own building in a nighttime environment. That said, we have seen this head coach in his limited time in Columbia take moments like this, rally the team, change the trajectory, and find ways to win again quickly. Can they do that this time? I do not know. South Carolina opened as an 11.5-point underdog this weekend, and it's already moved to 13.5. Take that as you will. But Shane will need to find that thing or that combination of things quickly, especially if the best player on the team can't play. And you know what? If the best player on the team can't play, he probably doesn't even get on the airplane because you got a limited roster you can take to road games in conference play. Again, we don't know that yet, so we'll find out more about that later on this week. But Terry, if they don't find something to correct a lot of the self-inflicted stuff very quickly, things that the players mentioned last week and that we saw rear their heads again on Saturday, then this thing turns in a very different direction very, very quickly, because for as much as you got out-schemed on Saturday here in Columbia, arguably the best X and O schemer in the SEC today is doing his thing up in Como, and he's probably licking his chops.
I was going to say our boys he's tingly with what he could do, and look, that was a masterclass what Beck did with that Vanderbilt offense on Saturday night. It was just everything was constant motions and misdirections and eye candy and just constantly putting your defense on stress. And to me, when you play a team like that, your defense probably wears down more mentally than they do physically, because it's constantly thinking and constantly they're taking your aggression and using it against you and all these other things. And when you're out there for 35, 36 minutes, that doesn't help either. My thing with this game is, yeah, look, you got beat, and there's nothing else to say, but you got beat. You just did. Now, do I think that game is different if 16 is in there? Yes. Do I think South Carolina wins? I'm not saying that. It ain't 31-7 in the fourth quarter if 16's playing, because to me, they were moving the football with 16 at quarterback. And I'll go back to, obviously, the biggest play of the game is when ball misses assignment, linebacker comes a free runner, helmet to helmet with Lenoris, and he's gone. But I think the play of the game was the interception because of what it meant. And you're right, dudes throw picks. But if you think about it, you hit your tight end wide open in the end zone for a touchdown, and you make the right read, you're now up 14-7. With Vandy, it's almost a basketball game. They want to play really slow tempo, and you want to play faster. You want to dictate to them, they want to dictate to you. So at that moment, you go up 14-7, now you're dictating. Now you've taken the lead, right? Now your stadium's buzzing. Your offense is like, you see us? Twice down with the ball and twice down for a touchdown. Your defense is pumped. And now everybody's looking at Vandy going, oh, yeah, you were talking bleep, dude. We're up 14-7. What do you got now, Jack? Bring it.
Right.
You throw the interception, it deflates you. It's a 7-7 game. To the credit, you forced a punt, but then you punted back because you can't snap the ball and you commit a penalty. You put a worm burner back there, and it's, 3rd and 100? Then Vandy gets the ball. You can't make another big play in this game is 3rd and 6. Vandy's got a 3rd and 6. Dylan Stewart does a phenomenal job playing the edge, sniffing out this option play. He's got that thing stopped dead cold. Problem was Stewart and 2 other Gamecock defenders missed the tackle. 3 guys miss. A runner who should have been stopped for, at best, no gain, goes for 7 or 8 yards and you get the first down. Backbreaker play on that drive. So there were moments in this game, Jay, before the injury, that you see moments where if you would have won the moment, where does this game go? Hell, if you're up 14-7, maybe the whole play calling sequence changes, and you're not making that call that gets Lenoris knocked out of the game. There were a couple of key moments that changed this thing before the injury, and I think the biggest one was the pick. And Sellers getting knocked out. Dude, I was sitting there. That whole place lost air. And I think, and look, you're never going to stand up as a player or a coach and say, yeah, our team just couldn't get it together afterwards. But then you come out and go 3 and out, and then Vanderbilt just punches you in the face down the field. And now you're down 2 scores without your starting quarterback. You hear more air go out of the place. Mm-hmm. Look, Vanderbilt won. They did. And they brought, look, you know what they did? Your guy got knocked out, and they took the fight to you, and they didn't give you any pity. They didn't care. They came in here with a mission to kick your ass. And if you couldn't bring the fight for whatever reason, they didn't care. It's like when you watch these MMA fights and the guy gets knocked down and the dude just keeps pummeling him.
Yeah, he's just pummeling him in the head.
Well, that was what Vandy did. Yeah. Vandy knocked you down because you lost your guy, and they just kept pummeling you. They didn't care. Yeah. And you lost the game. Now, to your point, you have talent. You get your quarterback back as a starter. He comes back. Okay, good. Now you move forward. And this team has pulled themselves out of where we've all been like, oh, they got no chance next Saturday. And usually when we say that, they win the game, right, under Beamer. But again, you're going to a place that's not easy to win in general. This guy has okey-doked you many times. And if you are healthy enough to have your ones, you got to figure out some things that so far you haven't figured out, especially in the last 4 games with a new guy calling the plays and coordinating the offense. People aren't happy.
Right.
And by the way, the numbers back up the unhappiness. Yeah.
Let's hear from you guys, 803-404-6100, AAA phone lines, Firehouse Subs text line. You can hit us on Twitter at jphillips1075, 1075 The Game on the station account. David Cloninger coming up in about an hour. Lots of sound from Shane as well. But let's hear from you, 803-404-6100, Reaction Monday on the Postgame Show. Griffin Pools and Spas knows that maybe in times like this for fans or just after a tough day at the office, you just want to unwind. You just want to kind of get back and make things feel the way you want to. They understand the value of relaxation at Griffin Pools and Spas, how it makes you feel, your quality of life, and they want to make this kind of relaxation a daily reality for you. Check out Griffin and find out a free estimate on a beautiful, wonderful hot tub or spa in your own backyard. You'll love owning it. Nothing like coming home after a long day. Flip that switch, just climb in and let those cares of the world drift away. Indulge in the ultimate relaxation and pampering with a huge range of luxury spas. Many you can see right there in the showroom. No better feeling than getting home and just letting it all unwind. 957-2121. Steps away from the Lake Murray Dam in Lexington and always online. GriffinPoolsAndSpas.com. Welcome back in. 20 minutes after 3 o'clock here on this Monday. Jay and Terry with you. Your turn now. Full bank of phone calls. Let's get going. We'll get to you as quick as we can, starting with Casey in Columbia. He will bat leadoff today. Hey, man.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Doing well,
Hey,
sir.
Casey.
Hope you are.
Hey, there's a lot of stuff we could take from that game Saturday, and I just believe I think one of the hosts was on point. That interception, it changed a lot. I feel like if you within 20 yards when you're in that red zone, go ahead and run it. Go ahead and run your quarterback. Let's get points. The developing and what he's trying to do, that's going to come along in the later part of the season. And I think the team learned that we can't depend on one guy to get us where we're trying to go. Everybody going to have to come in. I seen a lot of emotions get let loose in the game. Everybody was trying to figure out what's going on. And the offensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, man, he's real good. When you play against a talented, disciplined team, you pulling guards right, and the play going left, you're trained to follow the pulling guard. And, Vanderbilt going to get a lot of wins this year that nobody going to think they're not going to get. But as far as the Gamecocks, I think we learned early, besides later in the season, you can't take everything for granted. And I would say, hey, I'll take this loss. It's a 12-team playoff system. I'll take this loss, let them learn. Lenore's got to be Lenore's. Let Lenore's be Lenore's. I know he's predicted to be this so-and-so pick this year, next year. Just let him be him. And, that's all I got to say.
All right,
Thank you,
Casey. Thanks,
Appreciate you, man.
Well, I agree on that last point, and it was basically my theme of the entire week last week, is that something's got to change to allow Lenoris to be his best and to feel his best from a mental perspective, so that he knows the things that he's doing are helping this team relative to the opposite or somewhere in between. And saw a little bit of that early. Again, I don't know that I have as much of a problem with the play call where the interception was thrown. We can nitpick those things all the time.
I don't think it's the play. I mean, I get where Casey's saying.
Yeah, I need to let him go. Yeah,
I don't think the play call was bad. Again, you just missed the read. That's all. You just missed the dude, and you made the wrong read. It happens. It's just that play to me was such a momentum changer at the time.
I get it.
But I mean, the play call. I don't think it's so much. The play call was terrible. I just think, again, he didn't see the tight end open on the read.
Sometimes you miss, man. Yeah. And I don't discount what you said as well in the open. Obviously, if Lenoris doesn't go down, this game is different. But this isn't like when Carson Beck got hurt last year for Georgia. And I'm not trying to disparage the guys behind Lenoris, but you saw that there was a pretty good gap. Look, Luke, again, they moved the ball in the middle of the field.
They only went 3 and out once in the whole game.
But you don't get to score in the middle of the field.
No.
And South Carolina, again, you got to really think about it. You didn't score again.
I know.
At all.
You
went right down there, and then you didn't score.
Every time there was a big moment in the game, Vanderbilt found a way to make the play in the big moment. Whether it was that was a masterful coaching move or a guy made a play. Like, let's go back to the interception really quick, because Preston and I were talking about this. How many times do you see, even in that zone blitz scheme where you drop your lineman in coverage, the ball bounces off their face, bounces off their gut, they don't catch it. This dude, I mean, he looked like Jerry Rice.
Well, you almost feel, and I'm you're right, but hey, it's coming to you. It's almost like as if he was like, this is coming to me. I'm ready for this, relative to some of those guys who are like, oh, that was the ball.
He snagged that thing, man.
So,
and what's lost in us talking about that interception and missing the read is the defensive lineman made a heck of a play.
Yep.
He really did by snagging that thing.
Casey, thanks for the call. Ray up next on the postgame show. Hey, man.
Hey, Ray.
Hey, guys. It's going Jay, going Terry. Yeah, it's frustrating. I guess lack of execution would be another way to kind of sum it up. A lot of different ways to sum it up. Offensively, I'm very concerned. I know the defense, boy, they couldn't get off of third down to save their lives. I mean, even that play where they called roughing and it was third and 21 or 22, they still converted it.
Yeah.
I mean, 15 more yards were added, but they still converted it. So third down defense was, and that's something we really haven't seen that often. I mean, it kind of boy, did it really raise its head, as they would say, Saturday night. But offensively, we just got to do better. We've got to, and it's like you say, Jay, it's not one thing. It's maybe a lineman missed a block. Maybe, who knows? It's almost like Lou Holtz used to say, Terry, to say when guys are making mistakes on offense, if you're going to get off sides or whatever, just everybody raise their hand and say, we're going to mess up this one play so we can do a unison and we get out of our system, but it don't work that way. And I think right now that Shane Beamer and Mike Shula and Tinsley, those three guys, I think they're kind of all conjoined right now, like triplets or something. And they're trying to figure, man, what can we do to get this right? What can we do to get the right plays, to get this going, that going, the offensive line going? I mean, it's almost like at this point, Jay, I'm like, just script every damn play. We kind of do good when they're scripted,
Scripts are great. You're right, Ray.
If you can stick to the script, it's fantastic. Ray, thanks for the phone call, bud. And include Sean Elliott in there as run game coordinator in terms of trying to figure out where the issues are and what you can do. Again, consistency. We heard that was one of the themes last week. Got to be more consistent. Got to stay on the field. You need to finish. We can throw a lot of buzzwords around and things like that. But this team is going to be very different without Lenora Sellers. But you can't hang your head down either and just wait for him to return. You got to go play another football game. And like I say, we don't know yet. For those just tuning in or wondering, Shane did have a teleconference last night, and he did not give us. I think he said we're optimistic on where they are. But that was it. That was the only guidance, if you will, that we got from Shane.
All right. And I think this is it right here real quick. Jay, this cut 28, I believe, is what he said. Let me make sure in the break. It might be it. I don't want to play the wrong one. But
that's okay, yeah. But regardless, I don't know that we hear anything further on Lenoris
not until you have to.
Until Wednesday night.
Right.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
Unless I will say this, unless by tomorrow at 1 p.m., Lenoris has been medically okayed. And I don't know what those situations are like. Let's face it, we're not even 48 hours after the game yet. So I have no idea.
I guess that's one of those things, too. It's like, look, I get it. And again, I was sitting there, and you could just feel everything deflate when Sellers goes out.
Yeah.
And maybe they did. And maybe this is something that tells us something a little deeper than what we want to know is, in that perfect scenario in the Disney movie, everybody huddles up together and says, let's win one for Lenoris or the Gipper or whatever. Let's go, everybody step up and man up and do this and do that, and let's help out Doty and And look, maybe they tried and they just couldn't, man, at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying to you? Maybe they just couldn't do it. Because it felt like everything got deflated, from players to the stands to hot dog vendors to cocky.
When you couple that loss of a player and that caliber player with a team in your opponent that was playing one of the best games it's played in its recent history.
Well, they're smelling blood, too.
Yeah.
I mean, now you have taken a huge, shot.
Yeah.
That now you're wounded, right?
Yeah.
And they just kept coming
knew.
after you.
They knew. And, again, you can move the football a little bit, but it doesn't matter if drives stall out around the 30-yard line. It doesn't help you. Thanks for the phone call. More of you. Hit us up, 803-404-6100. Back into Reaction Monday after this. Palmetto Propane, ready to help make your life warmer, more convenient, depending, maybe both, right? Palmetto Propane, family-owned since 1959. First and foremost, they can deliver propane all across the state of South Carolina to homes, businesses, farms, anything you need when it comes to that. But now, and really not just now, they've been doing it for a while. Their Hearth and Patio home store showrooms feature premium brands of gas logs for the inside, tired of the wood-burning fireplace, but you still want that warmth and convenience, go see them. These are not yesteryear's gas fireplaces. I'm just going to leave it like that. Go see them for yourself. Plus, premium brands of grills like Big Green Egg, Blaze, Wilmington, Tech, the ever-popular Traeger, plus Rinnai tankless water heaters, gas lanterns, generators, outdoor fire features, and so much more. Again, all these on display at the Hearth and Patio Home Store showrooms. Since 1959, they've been helping you out. Check them out. Find a store near you at palmettopropane.com.
Injury-wise, Lenoris and Kaysen obviously did not finish the game last night. We're optimistic on both those guys for this week, and then fortunately no other injuries to report from last night.
Shane Beamer on last night's teleconference did not get into anything further when it comes to Lenoris Sellers. may be able to do that tomorrow. That's his choice, really. If not, South Carolina won't be mandated to make any injury announcements or availability announcements, is really the better way to say it, until Wednesday night. The first availability report has to be issued for conference games. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you, 803-404-6100. A lot of you hit me on Twitter as well. You might imagine that some of these are a little snarkier than
Stop it.
regular.
Stop it.
This one's not actually so bad. This is from Albert. Albert responding says, any Lifer Carolina fan knew that preseason hype meant a crash and burn season was likely. We tend to do better when there's little to no hype. And sadly, we may not be favored again until the Coastal game in late November.
Well, good. You got him where you want him then.
Yeah, tough to see in year 5 of the Beamer era, but he does end it with Go Cox. I looked today, Albert, and I believe, well, South Carolina, now there's no spreads on these games other
You'll be
than this
favored
week.
against Kentucky.
Kentucky, you're favored to win, and Coastal, you're favored to win. And believe it or not, the computer still says you're barely favored to win over Clemson. So 3. But everything else, at this point, you are not favored to win.
And I get where Albert's going because, there were people that said to me before the season started, Jay, that, well, you know what this means, don't you? We got all our hopes up, got all these expectations. How's it going to get screwed up? And that's just the nature of the beast at times. But now when you saw what happened Saturday, that seeps into your brain, right? It's like, but really, look, I know it was not a great loss in any way, shape, or form. But with what you got coming up, it's like a lot of ranked teams on your schedule, right? I think that's what it is, isn't it?
Yep.
It's not just that you lost to Vandy at home. Vandy's going to be a solid football team. I don't know what they're going to be. They might probably going to be 5-0.
They'll be 5-0 when they go to Alabama. They have Georgia State and Utah State.
They
next.
should win those 2 games, so they should be 5-0 going to Tuscaloosa, and we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, I think it's the idea not just losing to an unranked Vandy team at home, but then you go, oh, my God, you play like that against Vandy. Look at all these ranked teams that you got coming up.
That's the thing, Terry, and that's what I keep coming back to primarily. Like I say, offense we knew already had trouble. The defense had not. And the defense got beat. The defense got out-schemed, outworked. If you want to use the term out-coached, a lot of you have. I get it. You're not wrong because you did. You did because you didn't adjust. They kept you so off balance. To me, I'm with you in the sense of a turning point was the interception, and that was early. And like I say, bleep happens. I'm with you in terms of what it would have meant, though. I get that part. I don't dwell on that one as much. But the more I have thought about it, and when I was watching again yesterday, the more I thought, my God, they just kept executing on offense, and you've got a couple of game wreckers, and your game wrecker got ejected because he was no longer effective. Now I'm not blaming him, and by the way, Dylan Stewart, according to Shane in the teleconference last night. They said they asked the SEC, and he will be able to play this weekend.
Right.
But I keep coming back to that. That's what is sticking with me. The more I've had time to reflect, yes, I know the offense has been sputtering, but I'm still just like, man, it wasn't. I mean, yeah, the offense didn't score more points, but the defense just kept getting beat.
I guess my thing, I'm a little different than you. Is I'm like, I expected the defense to have some issues with this football team. Maybe not to the extent they did, because Vandy is very efficient in what they do, and they're very well coached, and they use a lot of eye candy, misdirections, fakes, but they do all these things to take your aggressiveness and basically use it against you. And South Carolina's got some youngins in that linebacker core who are going to be stressed all game. You don't have Judge Collier. So I thought you were going to get – I didn't think it was going to be to this extent, but I thought you were going to get some points. I thought to me you have to score mid to upper 20s to win the game is what I thought.
And that's probably how, you could look at it from that perspective and say if South Carolina had been matching some scores.
That's where I was going.
Vandy can do some different things offensively. But, and this is not a specific to South Carolina question. But I'll just ask you, because you mentioned Vandy uses a lot of eye candy and chicanery, and you didn't use chicanery, but
I never used that word,
when you know, but knowing is half the battle. That's one of my favorite sayings in life. So when you know that, what adjustments are you making, or what are you waiting for in order to adjust? Is it more mindset? Is it more scheme? And again, I don't know. I don't know, but I will say this: to me, it didn't feel like South Carolina ever really tried. No, not try. It's not fair. If South Carolina attempted to adjust, I didn't see it.
And again, that's the thing. I mean, I'm sure if we sat down with Clayton, because
there are going to be nuances that we don't.
And Clayton's going to go, fellas. Let me explain.
Yeah, and
because here's the thing about that. Now, run this through your head real quick. You are on the field, and you know you can't fall for that fake. You have been shown that fake on film 100 times during the week, right?
Right.
You start playing. You're getting into your aggressiveness. You're lathering at the mouth. You see Pavia put the ball in the gut of the running back, and you're diving down, right? You're gonna stop this play. You're gonna dive down. Then you look up, and oh my God, they ran around the end where I was supposed to be, because I was supposed to hold the edge, do my job, do my responsibility. Don't fall for that fake they showed me 100 times on film.
And is it that simple?
I think part of it,
probably,
not all of it,
maybe.
But I think part of that is like on the 44-yard touchdown run. I was talking to Jamie Bradford about this. If you watch it, Murphy, you probably say, did Sean Murphy fill the right hole? That's debatable. But Fred Johnson. Now, Pavia gives the ball to Lassiter and then does that little kind of fake where he runs around the end without the ball.
Yeah, the little spin thing he does.
A little something.
Yeah.
Because, and Fred Johnson goes with him.
Yeah.
Now, was Fred.
Pavia is really good at that.
Yeah, he's really good at that stuff. And so was Fred supposed to spy Pavia and go everywhere, or did Fred, again, fall for it because they've been doing so many things? Fred run with Pavia. I'm going after Pavia. That's the kind of stuff we don't know, but once you get into this game, and they're so good, and Pavia is so good at ball handling and so good at doing things with the rock, right? And they're doing all this stuff, and you're a young guy like Fred Johnson. You haven't seen this type of thing before, and your head's spinning. Like they throw that pass for the first down on 4th and 2. That's Fred's guy, but they run the fake handoff to him, and Fred's playing the run for a second. Then his dude runs out in the flat and catches the pass for a first down. Fred's got to go sit down. Fred's like, oh my God, what are we doing here? So, I mean, I think you're not wrong in the thought of, aren't you adjusting? But maybe you are, and because the things they're doing to you are keeping you on skates.
Yeah.
Or you know better. Like when you were younger, you would do something.
That's
better,
fair,
right?
and that's why I wanted to discuss this, because from my perspective, that's what I think you make a good point, and again, we're not really sure where the truth may lie,
right?
But it just, I suppose I come back, if nothing else, to you kept falling for it
over and over again, and that's where maybe because you got some guys who haven't played a lot of games, even our boy Brownlow Dindy has not been a starter a lot. And, Goodwine hasn't been a starter a lot. Nick hasn't. The linebacking crew's young. They keep doing that stuff, man. And, the inexperience might have showed up out there. And to your point, was the adjusting what you needed to adjust to? Or was that chess match not on your favor either, to be fair?
803-404-6100. More of your phone calls. We'll open the vault. We got more from Shane to get to.
Oh, no, this is what sucks today.
Oh, that's right. It's Monday.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
It's not going to be South Carolina related. We're going to give that.
Can it be that crappy call against my Broncos to give the Colts 15 yards?
Yeah, bro, you got hosed. Just saying.
Brutal. All right, lots more to do on the postgame show. That kind of made me laugh. It's, just the way Chris said that.
I love the way he said that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
good.
welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you here on a Monday. I suppose there's a really easy one for this, but
That's
maybe that's
low-hanging
just
fruit.
that's not even low hanging fruit. That's like sitting there on the ground fruit.
Yeah, it's why.
Okay.
We're going to do that for 3 hours or 2 hours and 56 minutes, right?
Close.
So let's look at something else that really sucked.
Okay.
And
I already
this
gave you one, so it's not that either, I guess.
No.
Should be.
You're not wrong.
Should be.
But again, if you're a Tennessee fan, this really sucked.
Drives it. It's fading. And he missed it wide to the right.
Max Gilbert lines up. Tennessee, well, first of all, what a football game between Tennessee and Georgia.
It was fun to watch.
That was compelling. So it's 38-all. Tennessee is matriculating down the field. Kirby's not using any timeouts, by the way.
Right.
We're watching this in the press box. I'm looking at Tyler go, why isn't your boy using the timeout to get some time after, in case Tennessee kicks this field goal? But Kirby's not using them. Tennessee gets to the 20. That's a 37-yarder. Got a procedure penalty, moves it back 5.
Yep.
Now it's a 42-yarder.
Yep.
Max Gilbert lines up and just did that from 42.
It was, and it really, for those who didn't see, it wasn't even close.
Wasn't close,
Wasn't
man.
close.
That ball was in the parking lot. Like Joe Milton threw it.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad for him in that sense. But you even if you saw the close up of his face, I was like, oh man, this kid he's way thinking about it way too much.
Could you smell it through the TV? If you know what I'm saying?
Almost.
Well, and so I would have loved to have asked Kirby, why didn't you call any timeouts? And Kirby would have went, well, that's Tennessee, guys.
Yeah.
You know they're going to screw this up somehow, right? Or Georgia.
I'm trying to when. What? How much time was left when he kicked that?
Oh, let me look. I got it right here. Don't go anywhere.
Well, I can find it here. No, I got you. 2:29. 2:29.
3 seconds.
Oh, they started with 2:29. Yeah.
Yeah, so
okay.
Kirby never used a timeout to save any clock for Georgia.
Right. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes. 3 of my bad. They started the drive at 2:29. 3. I knew. I was like, wait, that's not right.
Because I was like, Kirby, you want some time in case this cat drills this thing. Kirby's probably looking at his assistants. Oh, he's going to miss it. We're good.
Yeah.
I guess.
Georgia, let's see. Georgia used. How many did they? They finally did.
They had 2 in their pocket, I think, at the end of the game.
They called all 3. They did.
They finally called
them.
at the
They
end?
called them at 34 seconds, 12 seconds, and 7 seconds.
But then that's useless, not to be mean. That's like, why now, Kirby?
I think that he felt at 2nd and 7 with 34 seconds left. I think he believed in his defense, and I don't technically blame him.
Well, I think the way that game was going, I do blame him because that thing was wild. If this was a slobber knocker like 16-13 and the defense was playing really well, I would have bought into my D. But the only thing that stopped Tennessee was Aguilar threw 2 picks.
Right. But I was getting ready to say, Aguilar also had like 4 huge big play touchdowns, or at least big plays, a couple for touchdowns. And maybe Kirby thought, well, they're going to hit us with one of those. I don't know. I'm not disagreeing with you, but
I just thought it was strange. Again, in a game like that that's going back and forth. Typically, the team with the ball last wins.
Yeah.
Except if you have Max Gilbert as your kicker.
Well,
God love him. I do.
Well,
feel
he hit the
terrible for
one.
him.
He hit the one in OT, so I'll give him that. How far was that?
Wasn't that about almost the same distance? Help me.
42.
That's the one he missed.
42.
And you're right.
He missed 43. He hit 42. And but again, the 43 that he missed wasn't short. It was just
the one he made wasn't clean straight down the middle, but it was within the uprights. But so that really sucked for Tennessee, especially for Max Gilbert.
Do you know when the last time there was a game that close in this series? By the way.
Was it that Hail Mary thing when Tennessee won it with that
This is
throw?
the last time Tennessee won?
Last time Tennessee won?
Yeah. Every game that Georgia has won until yesterday in that streak has been a double-digit win.
It was a butt kicking.
And some of them have been
But wasn't that one of those games, though, you sit there and go, this is why they're Georgia? Right.
Yes,
Isn't it?
they're better than you, and it's hard for almost everybody in the conference to accept. Look, sometimes you lose, but and South Carolina, how many times have you seen it? You know, I mean, how many times have most schools in the SEC seen it?
Think about it. If you said this, if I just said this to you, Tennessee's going to score over 40 points on Saturday against Georgia, what are you going to tell me? It's a really good chance Tennessee would. That's Tennessee's game,
I
right?
might, Terry. I might, but then I might.
But guess what? Look what Georgia did.
Yeah.
They couldn't do
And that's
squat
why I
against
said to
Austin
you,
P.
until you knock them off.
That's right.
I'm
That's
here
why
to
we
say.
keep taking them, right,
Yeah,
buddy?
Yeah, hour 2 coming up. All right, here's a hot take for you. Vinyl belongs on records, right? Not on your house. Pick brick, the original set it and forget it siding, the longest win streak in history. Going back about 9,000 years. U.S. Brick wants to remind you of that, and that's why builders respect brick, neighbors notice it, and why the buildings that matter are built with it. Head over to U.S. Brick's brand new exterior design center at 300 UG Street and explore all the premium materials from brick and natural stone for your home, for fire pits, outdoor kitchens, pergolas. They've got everything that you need. They're open Monday through Friday, or you can book a time that works best for you. Stop in with your contractor and your significant other and see what these folks can do for you. Mikey Johnson and his team in business for more than 90 years, and they're headquartered right here in Columbia. So glad to have U.S. Brick on board here on the game.
Checking the roads real quick. Do have a couple accidents to report. I-77 southbound at Fort Jackson Boulevard, exit 10. Platte Springs Road near South Lake Drive, an accident as well. And, of course, we have our typical long-term construction, I-126 between Hugie and I-26, I-26 between Bush River Road and Old Sandy Run Road, I-20 between 26, exit 64 and 65 Broad River Road as well.
It's not enough winning football. Told the team before the game, Vanderbilt, that's a team you got to go beat. They're not going to give you anything, and we didn't do that tonight. Way too much self-inflicted stuff. Injury-wise, don't have an update for you on Lenoris or Kaysen, and questions.
Shane Beamer opening his post-game press conference on Saturday night after Carolina falls in rather humbling fashion, 31-7. A little twist of irony in there considering how completely dominant South Carolina was last season in Nashville. And that message, for whatever reasons, didn't get through this time around. Vandy, we saw last week saying we circled this one. Terry, people were talking about how Vandy was closing practices with a little chant that took a shot at South Carolina, and it all worked. And Carolina routinely popped in the mouth and could not answer the bell after a while. Welcome back in, Jay Phillips, Terry Ford, Shane Beamer. Again, post-game presser that you just heard. We'll have more from that. But his weekly press conference tomorrow at 1 o'clock will provide us with some more insight on the injury situation, what went wrong, what they're doing to fix it. South Carolina opened as an 11.5-point underdog at Missouri on Saturday night. It is up to 13.5. And for whatever these things are worth to anybody, I believe the computer gives South Carolina, I want to say it was just about a 20% chance, Terry. Let me go back and find that out to be absolutely certain. Again, not that it matters a whole lot to people, but I do find these things interesting. Yeah. Missouri with an 80.2% chance. South Carolina, 19.8. And again, the Gamecocks currently getting 13.5 points in this one. 803-404-6100. Let's before we get David, sit tight. Going to come to you in just a second. But I do want to play one here. Terry, cut number 12, please. We both have mentioned this, as have fans all across the state. But here's Shane Beamer in the postgame presser on how his team felt once they knew Lenoris was done for the night.
It wasn't good enough. I thought, obviously when you lose the leader of your football team and you lose your starting quarterback like that, and we're doing a lot of good things. I thought we did a lot of really good offensively in the first half. I think we only had 4 possessions in the first half, and 3 of them we went right down the field and moved the ball down the field, and we're in scoring territory, and then we have a turnover, we have a missed field goal, and then on the other one was just some pitiful football where I think we had a first down and it ended up like 3rd and 32. But my point being, I was pleased with a lot of the stuff we were doing offensively and told the team at halftime that we got to go out and just continue to play good football because we were doing a lot of really good stuff. But I don't like the way that we started the second half offensively. 3 and out. You can criticize me for not going for it on 4th down, but felt like early in the second half and punt the ball and go play defense. And I didn't like the way that we played that drive offensively, and I didn't like the way that we played that drive defensively to start the second half. And that's on me if we don't take the field with the right amount of energy to start the second half. But disappointing that we let them, after we punted it, just go right down the field and score. But I thought the team was okay. It's not good enough.
I think I'm with him right there.
Yeah.
I would have punted too because I have enough belief in my defense.
Well, at that point, it's 14-7, right?
Yeah.
And there's the other aspect of it too. And look, we were talking about in the press box when he punted, because the thought is there's 2 schools of thought on this. The school of thought of what Shane just said. It's 14-7. It's a 1-score game. If you don't make it right there, you're giving Vandy the ball in your territory with a chance to go up 2 scores. You punt it, you play field position, you play defense. Your defense had given up a couple drives, but they had forced Vandy to punt a couple times at that point, right?
Right.
I'm totally with Shane with what he did. I understood the feeling of the game was, oh my God, you can't give them the ball because God knows when you're going to get it back. And that's why people said to me they'd have went for it. But I kind of leaned toward what Shane did by the punting it, because you want to push them back. You don't want to give them the ball inside your 40, because if I'm not mistaken, that was around the 34, 35-yard line when it was 4th and 1, or around the 40. At the deepest you had gone is your own 40, I think.
I'm looking for you.
Take a look real quick for me.
But regardless, I'm with you. I would not.
Yeah, it's one thing. If I was at the Vandy 35 or 40, yeah, 4th and 1, hell yeah, I'm going for it. But in my own territory, at that point, first possession of the second half, and look, hindsight's 20/20.
You're on your own 34, man.
That's what I mean. You were on your own 34.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's the place you go for it on 4th and 1. If you're at the Vandy 34, it's a different conversation.
Or if it's a different point in the game,
where you're more desperate.
The punt was kicked at 13:08.
I think it's a
so
little
you hadn't
early
even
to
played
go for
2
that,
minutes,
especially where the ball is.
Yeah,
I just think it's your own 34. And look, you got stoned a couple times in that second half on 4th down.
Right.
God love Faison. He took that handoff. 67 guys tackled him before he could make a move on that 4th and 1. So, I mean, I'm with Shane on that one. I mean, I get people talking about going for it and all that, but I would have punted it.
I mean, if you could have found a way to maybe, draw him off but then not snap, just
maybe
to see
try
if you could
that,
do that.
and if you can get a gift.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
David up next on the AAA phone lines on Reaction Monday. Hey, David.
Hey, David.
Hey, Jay. Hey, Terry. How are y'all?
Good, man.
Yeah, talking about the 4th and 1 play, that up. Can we not enough confidence to line up in the eye and run the ball that way on a 4th and 1? Why in the hell do you have to run it from the gun? It clearly wasn't working. Why? Like, this is why I'm frustrated with Mike Shula, because of stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's a great point, man. And I listen, I even said, and I rarely do this in game. I rarely will say, what a horrible play call or something, but I did. And here's the thing, too. I can be critical of Mike, but I can,
Well, it's also execution at the line of scrimmage, too.
Yeah, but I just thought that was let Luke run the ball. Something, yes.
To David's point, one of my pet peeves of football today is 4th and 1 from the gun.
Yeah, it really wasn't even. It was really like 2 feet. Man.
Yeah,
it was inside
I'm
of a
with
yard.
you, David. On that situation, line it up, get behind center. Even like you said, 2 backs, old school eye, run the bleeping thing, sneak Doty. Good Lord, tush push, dude.
Whatever.
The gun you're starting 3 or 4 yards in the backfield to get 1 yard.
Unless you've got a hell of a play call on,
Yeah.
and
So-
Vandy blew you up.
Right.
So, David, I'm with you, my brother. That's one of those things that no matter who I see doing it, drives me insane.
And I don't know how much time, David, to be critical of both, because Shane will always, say it's on me. I don't know how much time, literally within the space of the 40-second clock, Shane has to override a particular play and say, no, Mike, I don't want to go out of the gun.
Let me ask you this, though, guys. I mean, let's be, and this is the only question you'd have to get answered. How many times has Luke Doty actually lined up under center?
Not many.
Probably none.
Yeah, not many.
Yeah, so again, that's a thing where a lot of these guys don't even line up under center anymore. They probably wouldn't know. No, that's the guard. Move over.
And I'm trying to see, because, I mean, Luke is not Lenoris big, but Luke weighs 215 pounds,
I mean,
man.
look, yeah, Luke's not.
He's big.
Yeah,
that's big.
Exactly. He can line up. He can line up under center and get a little push there.
Yeah.
That's all I got, y'all.
All right, David.
All right,
thank you, buddy.
Good talking
Appreciate
like
it.
always, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's my pet peeve, man.
No, I didn't like that call at all.
that fourth
I
and
didn't. I
short
just didn't
yardage
like
from the
that
gun
call at
drives
all.
me crazy.
Everything about it, especially considering how you were playing and just how the feeling was going. I would have just taken a big kid like Luke and son, go. And if you don't make it, you don't make it like that. But or again, if you're going to line up in the gun, then you find an eye candy play.
It can't be that play. Yeah, you make a great point. It can't be that play that do something like maybe you faked out the phase on. Now you roll Doty to where he runs it or throws it or something, or you do something back across, whatever eye candy misdirection. You play to their aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Don't just give it to phase on 3 yards deep in the backfield.
They blew you up.
And God love him. He was destroyed from the get-go.
They blew it out. And that to me. Again, not a turning point moment or whatever else, but what happens if you make it. But I again, Luke's he's big. He's not Lenoris's what is Lenoris 240?
Yeah, Lenoris is a linebacker.
Yeah, I mean Lenoris is listed at 240.
Luke's only
but 215 is big, man.
Compared to Lenoris,
215 is big. I mean,
Luke's an athlete.
Yeah, I mean, and just find a way.
I would have rather see line up in, and if he sneaks it and doesn't make it, I'll go.
If you're going to fail that way.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, and
or put that jumbo where everybody puts in your offensive and defensive linemen, and you just kind of, run behind all the big uns or something. I just sitting in the gun on short yardage drives me crazy.
Don't like it either. Lee is up next. Hey, Lee. Good afternoon.
Hey, Lee. What's up, my man?
Now we know why the Appalachian State went after offensive coordinators after Shula. Maybe we can make a trade. I mean, I mean, Mike Shula's been fired at every job he's ever had. Offense coordinator, head coach, he's been fired. And it reminds me of the Will Muschamp hire. I mean, wherever he went, he failed, but yet, no, he can succeed at South Carolina. No, his resume says he can't. I mean, believe what you read and what you see. I mean, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. And that's what South Carolina's been living for the last few years. Our offensive line sucked for the last 10 years, and we still hadn't got somebody who can coach the offensive line. I mean, what in the world is – I mean, Norris is great, but he's one person. You got to be able to block for more than 3 seconds or 2 seconds. It's just getting to the point of ridiculousness and all the hype. I mean, the entry, the 2001. How about give us some substance to match the hype? And then, man, what a feeling would it be to play football at Carolina if you actually had some substance on the field to match the hype opening up the game.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
we
Lee.
Appreciate you, man.
Listen, he's not wrong about a feeling that the offensive line continues to underperform relative to its level of talent. Now, a couple of years ago, the injuries, again, that was one of the more baffling things you've seen. Last year, like Shane likes to point out, and he's not wrong, South Carolina was 4th in the conference in rushing. That's solid.
But they also had 2 guys who were tackle breakers and yak guys in Sellers and Rocket.
Right.
That broke tackles.
And I was going to say, and there were a lot of home run plays, and those. I mean, look, whatever, over the course of a season. And we had somebody earlier, Lee, kind of saying the same thing you did, that you got to hope that, what would the guy say, that Lonnie Teasley and Shane are kind of conjoined right now with Mike Shula, and I said, and throw Sean Elliott in there, too. And throw Coach Blackwell in there, too, in terms of what they can do. And, heck, at that point, you throw Mike Furry in and say, what are you guys doing to block?
Yeah.
And I'm not questioning. I'm just saying, everybody, this isn't everybody thing.
And it's the run game, really. The pass protection has been better. I mean, Lenoris had plenty of time to throw. He had the one sack that was weird because remember they did the old red zone split screen.
Yeah.
They're showing Nick Harbor. Then I turned around and Lenoris on the ground. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
And I don't know if because they went tempo.
Right.
And so I don't know if it was a free runner. I don't know what happened on that one. But, the pass protection has been better this year than it's been. But the run blocking, that's where, for me watching this, the run blocking has not been very good. Every now and then, and even when you see Faison pop something, or Attaway when he's played, it's sort of like they're getting it on their own. They're not running through some big wide open hole, and they're just running, and they go, what last week against South Carolina State, the stat I gave you, 0.71 yards before contact. Basically, that means these guys are getting hit less than a yard after they take the ball.
It's 2.5 feet, man.
Think about that, bro.
Right, 2.5 feet.
Right.
I mean, all of our arms are that long. I mean, think about it, y'all.
So the point, the run blocking is really when there's been a problem this year. And a lot of it we focused on the left guard, right? And Josiah Thompson's had some consistency issues. But, that's where I go to. And look, when we talk about offensive line, yes, again this year we're rolling our eyes and going, really? But it's really, to me, the run blocking has really been a problem. Yeah. And it's put them in some really bad down and distance situations because they can't get consistent push up front.
We'll come back on the other side. More phone calls to get to, so please sit tight. Hit us up, 803-404-6100. But David Cloninger will join us. Typically don't have a beat writer guest on a Reaction Monday, but because of the set of circumstances that we're dealing with, including an injury to the best player on the team, wanted the latest from D.C. on what he is gathering. So we'll have his thoughts on the game and looking ahead when the postgame show comes back. All right, welcome back in. 19 minutes after 4 o'clock on this Monday. Jay and Terry with you. Again, reminder that Shane Beamer speaks again tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. Ryan Brewer in the house tomorrow as well. Typically on Reaction Mondays, we are not booking guests, but as I said, today I felt warranted the opportunity to speak with one of our favorites and most connected beat writers. That's our good friend David Cloninger of the Charleston Post and Courier. DC, I do appreciate it. Let's jump in first with anything more that you may be hearing on the status of one Lenora Sellers.
No, Jay. I mean, they're off today, so, they weren't going to do anything anyway. I would expect the next update to be tomorrow, but it wouldn't be anything besides, we feel optimistic or what have you. They're probably going to keep this as tightly under wraps as they can until Wednesday night when the first availability report comes out.
How different, in your estimation, was Shane's reaction Saturday in the moment to last night in terms of not just being beat? It's sports, David, but really thoroughly dominated by Vanderbilt. And that's not to try and discount Vanderbilt at all. This is a better team and version of the Commodore program under Clark Lee. But what was the what was your takeaway from the teleconference yesterday in terms of Carolina's coaching staff reflecting on the ball game?
Well, he's frustrated, and he's angry, and he should be. And I think a lot of it's not just that you ran into a bad night like you did against Ole Miss last year. It's that you thought that you had some things, probably trending in the right direction and figured out, and you still don't. You could hide behind the excuse of, hey, look, you lost your starting quarterback. And nothing's ever going to run smooth when you lose your starting quarterback, but he didn't. And I applaud him for that because he said, look, it's just not good enough. None of what we're doing is good enough. And that it's been 3 games now. It's no longer a question or an issue. It's a trend. Why isn't this offense working? I mean, it's sputtering at best. And you have to say, what's going on here? Because even before Lenora Sellers got hurt, it wasn't running that well, and of course after it did even worse. So that's a question that I believe is gnawing at the head coach and saying, like, look, do you trust that this is going to get better? Because if you're even saying, well, I don't know, that's a problem, and you're going to have to fix it quick, or this season is going to be gone.
David, as much as the offense sputtered, my words, they did move between the 30s, which isn't obviously good enough. But I was maybe more surprised through the course of the ball game by the fact that South Carolina's defense didn't either A, adjust, or B, as I mentioned earlier, maybe kind of kept falling for the same levels of deception that Vandy was throwing at them. What have you gathered from the ball club itself as to why that was the case?
Well, I mean, no one's going to go around there and say that they weren't prepared, and I don't think that's the answer. I mean, they could watch all the film they wanted. They knew from the game last year that Vandy's offense is very big on quick tempo, misdirection, that kind of thing. It just seemed like last year, every time Vandy tried a ball fake, USC was there on it. This year they weren't. They just kept falling for the same traps, and when you get that, that's one problem. But then, say, players start getting in the second level and you're just missing tackles. Saturday night was just a bad game for USC's defense to show all its warts. It has not been a weak tackling team. They've been very good at it. They've been good at making big plays. It just seemed like after that interception that Sellers threw in the second quarter and then the injury, everybody was just affected. But, it's one of those where you don't want to have to chalk it up to just one bad night that got a lot worse. But that's what it was. The defense I had no problems with in the first 2 games. But on Saturday night, they were out of position a lot and missing a lot of basic plays that they normally make.
Talking to our good friend David Cloninger of the Post and Courier. Carolina 31-7 losers to Vandy, now 13.5-point underdogs at Missouri. Come back around to that one in just a bit. For the sake of the discussion, and we don't know yet, so we can both be careful here, DC, but let's assume for now that Lenora Sellers does not travel to Columbia, Missouri. We know the offense is going to be different. What more does that really look like, A? And B, what does it tell the college football world, with all due respect, that if Luke Doty, who's been some special teams and some wide receiver and some quarterback, is the bona fide number 2 compared to high-level guys, at least from a recruiting standpoint, like Aaron Nolan and Cutter Woods?
Well, it shows that you're going with your most experienced guy. You're going with a guy that knows the system, a guy that this team will look up to. Not that they wouldn't for the others, but Luke's been there before, and that they know that they can trust him. He did not play badly Saturday night. Mm-hmm. He just didn't get into the end zone. So it is a case of it starts, if you do have to play him, it starts at the coaching level to say, all right, listen, you obviously cannot run a Lenore Sellers playbook without Lenore Sellers. I mean, that's pretty simple. So how much do you have to take away? How much do you have to simplify? Do you have to put in some special plays that you know Luke Doty can do? I mean, he's mobile. He's one of the fastest players on the team. You guys saw it early when he came in. He was cutting in there, juking, jiving, making guys miss. Those are the same kind of things he does, you know. But he's obviously not Lenore's. So what you just have to do is say, all right, you got to simplify it. You got to put in some things for there and go with it. But as for the other ones, it's like, listen, not many teams are going to lose their starting quarterback who's done so much and not be affected in some way. As for those who are questioning, why not give somebody else a chance? I'll answer it as simply as I can. They went with Luke Doty because Luke Doty is the best option.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. And I don't really see that changing this week, right?
No, it should not change this week unless it's just like, okay, well, you do it because other people already said, well, shouldn't you go ahead and get a head start on next year? So what, you're bagging the season after 3 games this year?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. So that's a next year problem. You've got a guy that you've trusted for all these years. You go let him do his thing.
David, a mild opinion question here, but certainly one based on how well you know the ball club. We've seen Shane through his tenure here now, which is into year 5, after moments like this, you know, whether it was kind of going to Marcus Satterfield and saying, hey, a lot of what you're doing there, stop it. Give me this. We saw it a couple years ago with Clayton. Hey, Clayton, tighten up that defense. I want more of this. What are you able to gather about where that might come after a moment like this? That was certainly a moment for major reflection. What do you anticipate this head coach, based on his track record, does next?
Well, I think that kind of meeting is long past, Jay, if there's going to be one. You know, I think that there was a meeting last week that said, hey, you guys got to do better, and, you know, it didn't work. Now, my question is, like, where is the line drawn between, like, I mean, look, give the guy a break. He's lost a starting quarterback. And obviously things are not going to run as smoothly when that happens. But now it's a case of like, okay, look, if they go into Saturday with or without Lenora Sellers, it's like you've had time to plan for this. So the offense can't look as hesitant as it has. It can't look as destitute as it has. It can't just keep blowing the fundamental plays. I mean, the 4th and 1 on a shotgun when you're already down 21-7, and you line up shotgun and say, all right, we're going to give it to a guy 3 yards deep, and we're going to trust this line to block. We really hadn't done that all year. That's just like, that's pretty indefensible, you know?
Yeah.
So you got to cut out stuff like that. And the fact is, it's like, listen, man, I realize loyalty is a fine trait, but if it's not helping winning ball games, you got to go look at yourself and say, all right, when do I do this, you know? Because I don't think there's a question of if he needs to anymore.
Right.
I think it's like, look, there's something very, very broken here. So you either got to fix it or the season's going to go around. You can't just keep hoping like, well, you know, they've always been better at the end of the year. Yes, they have. But, you know, there's still a lot to save here that can be better than just a good year.
Appreciate you as always, sir, especially on short notice. We'll holler at you soon.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
That's David Cloninger, DCPNC, to follow on Twitter, thepostandcourier.com on the web. And again, you can go over there and sign up for David's Gamecocks newsletter. Lots of good stuff in there all school year long. All right, more on the Carolina Vandy game. Jay and Terry, the postgame show. Integrated Media, ready to help you watch everything you watch better than ever. Listen, soon enough here. I'm not trying to rush our lives away. It's still only mid-September, but, holiday season coming around. Folks in and out of the house, a lot more football to watch, especially on those big holidays. Maybe the kids love the parade, and hey, can't be in New York. Man, how about a brand new big screen to watch all of that kind of stuff, whether it's the games, the parades, the dog show, or anything else that you do all year long. Integrated Media, ready to make it better. One room, whole house, indoors, outdoors. And listen, Wi-Fi that works everywhere. So crucial for streaming, for gaming, working and learning from home. They install professional-grade Wi-Fi built for the consumer, just like you and me. 803-948-8327. Whatever you want in home theater and home technology, you will do it better with my good friends at Integrated Media.
Let's check the roads real quick. We do have a couple little incidents that have popped up early in our drive home. Accident, Bluff Road at Berea Road, also Cedar Grove Road at Devil's Backbone Road as well. In Columbia, Clemson Road at Earth Road, Highway 60 at Columbiana Drive as well. I-77 southbound at Purcellville Road, exit 15. Platte Springs Road at South Lake Drive and US 176 at Broad River Road near I-20. We'll get back talking to you on a Reaction Monday. Your calls on the AAA Heating and Air hotline, 803-404-6100. Also hear from you on the Firehouse sub-text line as well as we get your opinion on what happened Saturday.
All right, welcome back in. Thanks again to David Cloninger for joining us. Jay and Terry with you on a Reaction Monday. Let's get back onto the phones. And hang on, Terry's getting more, but we got ready to go. Yeah, let's get to Keith up next here this afternoon. Keith, how are you, sir? Welcome in.
Hey, Jay, Terry, how y'all doing?
Doing well, sir. Hope you are.
I'm doing well. I was hesitant to call today, but oh well. Y'all.
I was hesitant to come in, but oh well, I'm with you.
I know. When Terry answered the phone, I said, "Oh man, don't hang up on me."
Hey, can I tell you something, Jay? I talked to Keith enough at the gym. I don't need to talk to Keith here too.
Look, I mean, the reality is, I think 4 weeks ago we were all hopeful and optimistic, and still am. That's just part of being a Carolina fan. Been doing it for 50-plus years, but it is what it is. Do we have spotted talent around the field? Yes, we do. But we're missing things on both sides of the ball. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but you got a generational talent at quarterback. And yet you continue to handcuff him. It didn't appear early on that he was handcuffed as much. But if we're going to win ball games, they got to let Sellers play. And hopefully, it's not anything severe concussion-wise. But there's enough blame to go around. I went back and watched it yesterday, and I'm being generous. I counted 15 missed tackles. The secondary was almost obsolete. So I don't know where to complain. We need improvement in all areas. And at the end of the day, we can blame Shula. We can blame for the offensive line coach not doing a good job, which is fair criticism. But ultimately, it falls in Beamer's lap. And you know what? As good a guy as he is, if he don't fix it, by the end of the year, it ain't going to be pretty. I mean, that's just the reality.
Appreciate you,
yeah,
Keith.
Thanks, Keith. Listen, and we touched on that last point with David just a minute ago. I am certainly one. Look, I understand the really big picture. Shane has proven as a head coach that when these things have occurred, he's found a way to make it better. Now, better can have varying degrees of success and how people respond to them. But again, we have multiple instances of that. So I do believe, from my own point of view, disagree if you feel, but from my own point of view, I think Shane has earned that benefit of the doubt. You still got to go do it, Keith, to your point. And like David said just a minute ago, at least when it came to what the offense needed to do, you hope that conversation has already been had and that you were thrown an unfortunate curveball this past weekend.
Yeah, and Keith made a good point about Sellers. And look, and one of our callers, was it Ray, that joked about maybe he should script every call.
Right.
But the script looked really good against Virginia Tech. But once you got off script, you lost some of that variety and flavor, right, Jay? It got very vanilla and stale. The first two drives, that first drive again against Vandy, you got that bootleg. Linares boots out to the right, makes the throw, hits a tight end. Tight end goes for big yards with 33 yards on I think the run, somewhere around that, right around 33 yards. We never saw that play the rest of the game.
No, I know.
And that's what I mean. The variety of it. That play worked so well, A, because it worked, but two, he is rolling out. He's rolling out to his good side. He's getting away from the pocket. He's using his legs to make a decision. If my guy's open, what am I doing, Jay? I'm hitting him. If he's not open, guess what? I'm in open space.
I'm off. Yeah.
I love that play because now you're making him do what, Jay? React, not think. Yeah. That play wasn't used again.
Maybe it would have been.
Could have.
Maybe it would have been.
We didn't see it in the next two. We didn't see it in the next three drives.
Right.
After the first drive, the script. Here's my thing, and you said this, and I hope you're right, that maybe this conversation was had. The one, that come to Jesus that Satterfield got, that Clayton got. Maybe Mike got it after South Carolina State, and we didn't get to see it really open up because Linares got hurt.
Right.
But I will say this. If that conversation has to be had sooner than later if it's going to continue to be the way we saw it. If it hasn't been had yet, it needs to be had soon because, again, you can't really pretty for the script, and the scripts have been phenomenal. But then you go to play calling, and for some reason you fall back into vanilla, conservative, one-trick pony, whatever. What you're doing on those scripts, we got to get our Denny's menu out, Jay. And where's that on the Denny's menu? Appetizers, main courses? Where would you go? You're the food guy.
Again, like I say,
where am I going? Okay, we had to cut the Denny's menu up for Satterfield.
Yeah. Well, it's like you and I said about Marcus. Yeah, we ain't coming to Denny's for salmon and T-bones, man.
Right.
I want pancakes. I want bacon and eggs.
So we basically look at Mike and say, Mike, bacon and eggs. We got that really cool moons over my hammy.
Right.
But guess what? But we want these specific things because they work the best for this quarterback.
Right, and that's what Linares is really good with a stack of pancakes, 2 eggs over medium, a couple strips of bacon.
What's that? The Grand Slam breakfast?
Yeah, whatever it is, man. Like that works. And listen, we can have fun with it and be serious at the same time. But to one of Keith's points right there, this is one of the things we were saying all last week. I need Linares to be Linares. I want Linares, and Linares wants for himself. And we all want this to be properly developed for the next level. But forgive me as I say this. Development for the next level be damned if it's going to interfere with winning football games. And that's one of the things, y'all. That's one of the reasons I banged that dadgum drum so much. Everybody wants their players to go to the next level. And you want to know that when you're recruiting them when they're 16 and 17 years old, that by the time they're 18 to 22-year-olds, you give them an opportunity. But you have to win football games. You have to win the football game. That's what you're here for, to win the football game. And Linares has not, for whatever reasons, looked comfortable this year. More comfortable to open the game. Unfortunate set of circumstances knocks him out of the game. Don't know what the short-term future is. Look, long-term, he's going to be back here soon enough. And last year, he missed a game. Fortunately for South Carolina last year, he missed a non-con game that the opponent didn't even give to you-know-what's about, and Robbie Ashford did fine, and Carolina cruised. Not the case this weekend. This is a coach, this is a program in Missouri that has come to, for whatever reasons, loves to beat you. Almost seems obsessed with beating you. And after what you saw Saturday, if you're Eli Drinkwitz, you are salivating over how Vanderbilt out-schemed South Carolina for large chunks of the game. But to come back around, Linares has to be allowed to be Linares while still setting up some parameters for development. But you know what? I'd throw them all to the side if it just meant, son, we need you to take over the football game. Because you can, you have, and you will again.
It's almost like, hey, Linares, just sit down and watch some film from last year. Go do that now.
Go do that.
Very simple.
And have fun doing it at the same time. All right, more of your phone calls, Jay or Nay, coming up. Welcome back in. 11 minutes in front of 5 o'clock here on this Reaction Monday. Top of the hour headlines, Gamecock Notebook, drive around the SEC. Yes, there was other football action besides what happened or didn't happen, depending on your point of view at Williams-Brice. All right, we'll hit Jay or Nay in just a second. You want to do it now? You want to do it now, then we'll come back around?
Yeah, let's hit a couple Jay or Nays.
Because I need some game show music, so what the heck? Let's
let's enjoy some game show music.
Okay. See, I feel better already.
Me too. I'm good now. World's
Spin
better.
the big wheel.
World's better.
Maybe I'll win $1,000. All right, let's do it.
Maybe you'll win the whole showcase.
Hey.
And you'll win a cruise.
Be nice.
All right, Jay or Nay, real quick. We'll throw you from the South Carolina Vanderbilt game.
Oh, boy.
Donovan Murph, Brian Rowe, freshman wide receivers, had some catches, got a little run during the contest against Vandy. Jay or Nay, more of Murph and Rowe?
Jay, if they're earning it, they're earning it. Yeah, I mean, there's some analysis for you. So, give it to you. I thought Harper was better. But, yeah, I mean, if they're out there earning it in practice, man, do it. Jay?
All right, good deal. All right, Jay or Nay? The Virginia Tech job is a real plum gig in 2025. Because Brent Pry, of course, got fired.
Yeah, he did. We should take more time on this one because there's obviously going to be one name that maybe vaults to the top of the wish list.
You and I,
Virginia Tech job is still a very good football job. It's not what it once was. But you know what? Neither is Nebraska's job. And there's a host of other, not to compare the two directly, but Virginia Tech has money. They have resources. They have a passionate fan base. It can be. And listen, state of Virginia, my goodness, you can get talent. You got to go.
Whole Tidewater, Norfolk, Newport News area.
D.C., Richmond. I mean, you
ain't far
there's
from
talent,
stuff, man.
There's talent. So it's a good job. Plum job? Hey, I know where you draw lines at good to plum. And I'm not a big fan of plums.
You know what's going to, you know what, I like that now. Plum can be underrated.
Yeah.
Plum's not bad.
Yeah,
nice juicy plum is good.
Sure.
The ones that break your teeth, not good.
Yeah.
Jay or Nay? You in the mood for a plum?
Nay.
All right, let's grab a few calls.
All right, let's get to let's go to James up next. Hey, James. Good afternoon.
Day.
Hey, man.
Hey, when they named Schuler as the OC, first thing that popped in my mind was, oh snap! Don't make him into an NFL quarterback right now. And making him stay in the pocket, taking his greatest asset away from him. And that's exactly, Shula has done nothing to prove me any different on my thoughts of that. And I mean, it's difficult to watch. I mean, because Lenoris is such a great athlete. So I don't know. And what I think they should do is go find game film of Louisville when some guy named Lamar Jackson was there, and some guy who's not necessarily that good of a person, but a great offensive coach, and Bobby Petrino, and see what he did with Lamar. I mean, because I'm not saying Lenoris is at Lamar's level, but they're very much the same style of player. Even though Lamar, I think, is a little bit faster, but Lenoris is pretty quick himself, and he's very strong. And and you can't have him sitting in that pocket with the line blocking the way it is.
No.
That's the other problem.
No, we get you, James.
Yeah,
we appreciate you, my man. Thank you.
I don't have a problem with studying what terrific dual threat quarterbacks have done. The irony there, of course, that a lot of people will push back on when it comes to Mike Shula is that Mike Shula was Cam Newton's offensive coordinator in Charlotte.
Yeah. Which makes this even more of a head scratcher in a way.
Now, and some will say, too, by the time Mike got there to work with Cam had been in the league a few years. And you don't want to directly compare Lenoris to Cam. Again, I don't know that we've ever seen a Cam Newton. We may never see a Cam Newton again. But the similarities are enough that Mike understood those things. Again, I'm not sure where the lines are drawn. And we talked about this for the last couple of weeks. Where is that line between development for the next level? Because it does matter. But winning football games, and that has to come first. And is that one of the conversations that Shane may have with Mike Shula? Like, hey, Mike, but Lenoris can get developed when he goes to minicamp.
Right.
Or I'm being flippant to make a point.
Right. And I think, look, watching what they did with Lamar in Baltimore, in the beginning, when they were developing him as a thrower for the pro level, you know what they did that first year? Hey, dude, go run a lot.
Right.
We're going to use your strength.
Right.
And we're going to work on what will one day we hope to become a strength. But right now we know your strength is clearly affecting the game with your legs.
And
you can do both, Jay.
Yes, you can do both. Exactly. Yes. It isn't like Lenoris can't throw. And no one is saying that, by the way. But to make him a pocket pass. I said to you last week, Carolina doesn't need Dan Marino.
No.
They need Lenoris Sellers.
Yes.
Headlines of the day. More of y'all's phone calls coming up. 803-404-6100. It's the postgame show.
Taking a quick check about what's going on the roads. We had a few accidents. Let's double check now to see where we're at. Bluff at Brea Road, still an accident there. Cedar Grove Road at Devil's Backbone Road. Clemson Road, Earth Road, still an accident there. We've added a new one, Hardin Street near US 76 on Divine Street. Highway 60 at Columbiana Drive, I-77 southbound at Percival Road, exit 15. US 176 Broad River Road near 120 also.
It is 5 o'clock news time here on this Monday, the final hour of the postgame show as well. Alongside Terry Ford, I'm Jay Phillips. We appreciate you being with us. We'll kind of blend the news segment into a continuation of Reaction Monday. South Carolina falling to Vanderbilt 31-7. And speaking of falling, South Carolina completely out of the Associated Press top 25 poll. They did come in at number 24 in the coaches poll, but very few surprised by the fact that the Gamecocks in the AP poll are unranked. We've talked a lot already today about the offense, about what needs to be changed. Our good friend David Cloninger was with us earlier in the 4 o'clock hour, and I asked him if, based on the history of Shane Beamer, in terms of having a conversation with Marcus Satterfield about what must change for the offense to be more efficient and effective a couple of years ago, or the year after that when he had the same type of conversation with Clayton White about changing some things schematically on defense. Those things proved positive for South Carolina. David was of the belief that it may well be that that conversation with Mike Shula has already taken place, that we saw some early evidence of a few changes, but that when Lenoris went down, you didn't get to see whether or not more of those types of things would have evolved through the course of the ball game. So we don't know.
And what I'm hoping for again is I'd love to see them move him around more, roll him out, get him out of the pocket, have him on the move. Look, that play worked against Virginia Tech. That play worked against Vandy. Rolling him out, the tight end's in space, open. They do a nice job scheming that up, and it goes for big yards. And if it's not there, guess what? There's a lot of green for 16 to take off.
For Lenoris to take off and go, so we've talked a lot about the offense. We've also had a lot of thoughts on the defense. And again, whether it was Terry and me in the first hour or reiterating it with David, one of the things that surprised all of us, not just those of us talking here on the air, but a lot of you watching, was South Carolina's defensive performance, because Vanderbilt was in virtually complete control of the ball game. And South Carolina, in our estimation, and again, we talked about this with David, just kept falling, it seems, for the same things over and over when it came to the way Vandy likes to disguise certain situations on offense, or as Terry likes to say, the eye candy they use to put you in one situation and then they go and do another. Cut number 14, please, Terry. Here is Shane in post-game on how his defense performed.
Yeah, I would hope like hell it wasn't fatigue. They played 63 plays, so if we're fatigued after 63 plays, that's not good enough. Part of it is we got to get our own butts off the field. They were 5 of 7, I think, on third down in the first half. And one of the keys to the game for us was we got to be great on first down, because we were last year, and get them into second and long, which we did. I mean, they had a lot of second and longs in the first half, but then they're converting third downs, and so we got to get our own butts off the field. And so I don't think it was fatigue. That would be seeking comfort. We got to tackle better. We got to coach better. We got to execute better.
The execution, to me, I think, was it as much as anything. But again, falling for it. That's probably a little too harsh to say it that way, but these are good players, and this is a good defense. And this defense has, at least relative to early season expectations, I would say, met or exceeded a lot of those expectations.
Yeah.
Saturday night, they did not.
I mean, it was their worst tackling game far and away. But to the point, what Shane said, let's go back and look at last year's defense. A lot of veterans, a lot of leaders, a lot of guys who played a lot of games and a lot of starts. Let's look at the front two levels of this defense this year, whether it's Barrett, Brownlow Dindy, Goodwine, Thomas, Johnson, our boy J.O., even you go to Murphy. These are guys that don't have that veteran experience this defense had last year. And, what helps you not fall for things over and over again, Jay?
Yeah, experience.
Experience. Right. So they might have played to the inexperience of game starts that a lot of these guys had, to where you ain't trying to fall for it, but your aggressiveness is being used against you.
Yeah, that's fair. And listen, we now understand that perhaps with Virginia Tech, you did not play a very good football team.
I was talking about that with Jamie Bradford today.
And
It's
then
like
in week 2, you played an FCS team. It doesn't matter how much energy they brought, and State brought plenty of energy, but you still played an FCS team. So maybe some of what you had done defensively has been propped up by a level of opponent.
Yeah, I mean,
relative to one in Vandy, even if it's Vandy.
Yeah, still.
This is the best Vandy. This may be a better Vandy team than the one that got James Franklin the Penn State job.
We'll see, but
we're going to find out.
They got a real good shot to be 5-0.
They'll be. Yeah, I mean, if they aren't, they'll have been upset. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And look.
And Georgia State beat them last year.
Yeah, I was going to say, they tripped up on Georgia after
they beat Virginia Tech.
After beating Virginia Tech. Yes, and
I don't think Clark lets them do that this time.
Probably not. There's probably going to be some threats. I just look at it like, at the end of the day, the Virginia Tech game, I think for Vanderbilt and South Carolina, they're both looking at each other going, wow, I guess that wasn't as impressive as we thought it was, because Old Dominion worked them at 28-0 by halftime. But the defense has ability. They have a lot of guys with talent, but you're running into and you're going to run into some of this against Missouri, by the way.
Absolutely.
Eli would do this to begin with, but now
maybe better players.
Yes, well, I was going to say, no offense, Hardy's a real back.
Dude, he might be the best tailback in the conference.
Probula's got a lot of skills and has played really well in 3 starts. They got some receivers. They're a more talented version of this.
Yes.
And Eli's really going to throw you some okie dokes.
And a coach who, again, lives for that kind of scheming and for some reason, as I said earlier, seems obsessed with beating South Carolina.
So I will say this: hopefully,
did somebody at Carolina steal his girlfriend?
I swear, when he was in college,
what happened? Anyway,
we'll do that later. We'll do that later. His one girlfriend. Anyway, but here's the thing: hopefully, going through this against Vandy, now you've gone through it once.
Yeah.
So maybe you won't fall for some of that misdirection, eye candy, okey doke when Missouri runs it at you. Yeah. Just saying.
Although instead they just say to Hardy, go.
It might be that simple.
Bang, pow, like Batman.
Yeah, ours are better than urines, and now we're just going to run Hardy until you stop him, because he's still running, by the way, from last week.
Oh, man. I know it wasn't a good opponent, but, man. All right, number 18, please, sir. Shane Beamer, again, from postgame Saturday. What did he tell the ball club when they got to the locker room?
What I told the team after the game in the locker room, that when you turn the ball over 4 times in the SEC, you're going to get your rear ends kicked. And that's what happened tonight. I told the team that we didn't do enough winning football tonight. I mean, there's a ton of self-inflicted mistakes that starts with me, and I'm going to get it corrected. And disappointing, because we had a great week of practice and we were certainly ready to play, and it wasn't good enough. But I told the team I was still encouraged, because when you look at it and it's 31-7, you say to yourself, there's not a lot of good, but I saw a lot of really good tonight too at times, just not enough of it. And that there's a lot of football in front of us, but we got to get a whole lot better, because right now it's nowhere near good enough. But we have players in that locker room that care and hurt, and we got to continue to stay together, because we know the noise on the outside is not going to be positive, and we have to be positive here. And we're sitting here at 2-1 with a ton of football in front of us, and got a big trip coming up to Missouri in 7 days.
Gamecocks open as 11.5-point underdogs. It is up to 13.5 for what that may be worth to you. One more bit of news, and Terry just alluded to it. Brent Pry was fired yesterday at Virginia Tech. 0-3 start, underachieving in his tenure in Blacksburg, and they did not see any reason to further his stay. I can't really disagree with it. Yeah. It's tough to lose a job no matter what, but I get it. Obviously, everybody listening understands Shane Beamer's very direct ties to VPI. Shane was asked about this yesterday on his teleconference, and here's what he had to say.
Not really. I think the week of the Virginia Tech game, I told everyone how I feel about South Carolina and my love for this place, and that's where my focus is right now, is getting our football team better, because I don't like where we are right now, and that's my responsibility, and I've got to get it better without a doubt, and confident that we will. And then I hate it for Brent. He's somebody that I've known for since I was in college, and have a lot of respect for, and days like this in the coaching profession suck.
because that's a good man with a, family that's got daughters about the age of my daughters. And I know how hard, losing is on your family. Seeing that right now with mine, but different too when a guy, loses his job also. So feel for Brent and the people that I know on that staff, and hate that decision was made.
So nothing else he's going to say. Like, I've already got my agent.
What's he going to say? We made a call already. I'm hunting for houses.
Look, there's no certainties, and I'm here to give my opinion. That's part of what I'm paid to do. I'd be very surprised if Shane Beamer's name was truly in the hat. I would understand why there might be one of those. I'm not likening this apples to apples. Mm-hmm. But I've told you this story before, way back 30 years ago, whatever it was, when our buddy Jim Powell was doing his local sports show here, and a lot of Sparky had been fired. Mm-hmm. A lot of Gamecock fans were like, "Well, we got to get Dan Reeves." Dan went to Carolina. Dan loves Carolina. Mm-hmm. Dan at the time, of course, was the head coach of the New York Giants. Mm-hmm. And I remember Jim, in so many words. I was in college when this was happening. I just remember listening to Jim that one day. And say, well, y'all, here's kind of how that conversation's going to go. He's like, I'm Mike McGee. Here's Mike McGee. Hey, Mike. Or, hey, Dan, it's Mike. Hey, Mike. Listen, any interest in coming back to coach your alma mater? No, I'm good, but I appreciate you calling.
Thanks for calling.
It kind of needs to be the same. And I realize that South Carolina is not the New York Giants.
Right.
I do understand that. But I know how much it meant for Shane to follow this job and ultimately to get it. I know what it's meant for him to go recruit his tail off to make this a competitive job. I know how much it hurts for what he went through the other night. And not only that, and again, I'm only giving you my opinion. Mm-hmm. What you would have to live up to and exceed when you can instead build. I don't know how much of that he takes from, say, what Steve Spurrier always said, like, you want to go start your own thing, or you want to go follow, mm-hmm. I'd be very surprised. Again, have a discussion, have somebody call him. I think you owe them that. And I'm a little, mm-hmm. I don't really like having this conversation right now, to be honest with you, for mm-hmm. a lot of reasons. But it's human nature to say, again, mm-hmm. you have incredibly direct connections, mm-hmm. and why wouldn't you be someone under consideration?
Right.
So that part I certainly can.
Yeah, I'll go from the business angle. Why would you go from the SEC to the ACC? Right. The SEC is a big dog and a big player in the future. There might not be an ACC in 10 years, man.
Heck, in 5.
I know. So
unless you're going to FSU or Clemson.
I mean, why would you make that move? And the word is you wouldn't from a business perspective. The only thing I could see, dude, and this is just me trying to rack my brain to give you a scenario where maybe possibly in some way, shape, or form, a long shot. If this year goes totally off the rails,
right,
and this gets pitchforky
right.
and ugly,
right,
that all of a sudden the old home base might look pretty good.
And let me flip that back on you, because I don't disagree. Uh-huh. If this thing were to go sideways mm-hmm. or pitchforky, mm-hmm. then are they up there going,
Yeah, second thought, maybe we don't want to talk to him. And that's the only scenario I can run through my head that would make any sense, because besides that wacky idea, there's no reason to leave this gig for Virginia Tech.
I honestly, again, I feel like we need a mental shower after even having this conversation right now.
I know, but again, it has to be addressed.
But it has to be addressed. It's just part of the news cycle. There's no doubt. Speaking of that is our integrated media headlines of the day. Full bank of phone calls on the other side. That'll be part of the Gamecock Notebook, and that's next.
Check on the traffic. We have a few accidents on the roadways here in the Midlands. Bluff Road at Lower Richland Boulevard, Clemson Road at Earth Road, Hardin Street near US 76, that's Divine Street in that area, I-77 southbound at Percival Road, exit 15, US 176 Broad River Road near I-20 as well, and plus all the wonderful construction that we suffer through every day.
Welcome back into the postgame show here on a Monday afternoon. Jay and Terry with you. Lots of you on the phones. Thank you for your patience during the headlines. Barry has been holding on for a few, and he is up next. Bear, how you doing, my man?
Oh, hold on, I gotta wake up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing fine. How you guys doing?
It's Monday.
Yeah, we're doing all right, Barry. Hang in there.
As they say in Italian, men's a men. So, right? So.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. One question and then just an opinion. Does a coach have the ability to veto a play that the offensive coordinator calls?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mean the head
in
coach?
theory,
yes. The head coach.
He does,
The head coach.
yes.
Yeah,
Head coach.
sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So when I heard Beamer say something about actually basically calling it an idiotic play on that 4th and 1, which it was, why wouldn't a coach say, wait a second, why are you running that play? Why would a coach not veto that play? And then after the game, talk about the play.
I don't have an answer. We'll probably learn more about that tomorrow. One of the things in terms of that particular play that I brought up earlier in the show, Barry, to at least provide some level of context and understanding is how much time was there on the play clock when Shane maybe fully understood what play was going to be called, and then do you want to burn a timeout in that situation when you might need them later? You could. Certainly. And
especially on like a 4th and 1.
Yeah, but he might, and next time around, Barry, what may happen in that kind of a, dare I say, teaching moment for two men that have been doing this their whole careers is, hey, next time, Mike, I don't want a shotgun on 4th and 2 feet.
Yeah, and to your point, Barry, you're right. The coach should jump in and veto something if he doesn't want that play called. And that's the thing, when that play clock's cooking and time's running down, where are you at? But you're right. And I'll tell you this real quick, Barry, and then I'll let you get your opinion in. One of the things in football that gets me all the time is, for some reason, if a head coach never was a coordinator on some side of the ball, he really tiptoes around that coordinator and really doesn't try to meddle or tell him what to do. And sometimes it comes to your detriment because you are the head coach.
And I agree with that. All right, now let me give you my opinion. Now, this goes as far as, preseason predictions, expectations, not just for South Carolina. Okay, I'm talking about, when we were talking about the Heisman Trophy, you get the 3 leading candidates were an unproven Arch Manning, a kid that had a good year last year, and Lenore Sellers, who was on track to definitely be an outstanding quarterback if he's allowed to play like Lenore Sellers, just like Diego Pavia is allowed to play his reckless, abandoned style and be successful. But you have these 3 guys at the top of the list. And here we are, 3 games in. If I'm not mistaken, Arch Manning is the highest one quarterback rating-wise at number 84. Kate Kubnik is at 100, and Sellers is at 104. So that's what bothers me. All these so-called experts are crowning people before they've ever done anything substantial to be declared a generational talent. We're throwing that label around way, way too often because Jadeveon Clowney was supposed to be a generational talent, and he's gone on to the NFL to prove that he was not a generational talent, and he will not make the Hall of Fame. So, and everybody that talks about these comps, quit comping these kids. Let Lenore Sellers be the first Lenore Sellers. He doesn't have to be the next Cam Newton. I don't get these comps. Let the kids be the first of them. Let him use his attributes, his God-given attributes, which he has an abundance of, and let him use them.
Well, listen, and one of the things there, Barry, thanks for the call. I got to move to some others. Listen, there's a lot of outlets out there, whether it's us, whether it's Phil Steele, whether it's Athlons, whether it's On 3, 247, ESPN, Fox, Josh Pate, on and 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 on. I could go, and everybody needs to fill their time. So this is part of the narrative in a country where college football is the second most popular sport from a consumer standpoint behind professional football. Right. I don't disagree with some of the things you said.
No, not at all.
And that's why we always say, look, it doesn't matter right now. Go win your games. Go play your plays, whatever you are in terms of the individual awards, team rankings, whatever else, we can. That's why you play.
Barry's right, but it absolutely is, and we try to couch it as, look, these are preseason prognostications. There's a long way to go to get to the end. Who was picking? So we've seen some Heisman Trophy winners who have ended up picking up that hardware and like, well, never saw that coming. Devontae Smith,
right?
Who thought Devontae Smith was going to win the Heisman Trophy?
Right. Well, help me out. I'm blanking. Who was the kid that got hurt? The receiver that was going to be on that same team for Bama.
Jamison Williams.
Yeah, and he got like
blew an ACL. Yeah. I mean, we could look at guys Eric Crouch. Yeah, everybody saw that.
Right.
Nobody saw some of these guys who have won the award because we have to play it up. And Barry's right. We said, especially today, everybody wants content. Everybody wants you to listen and click and watch them. So everybody's yelling louder and louder and want to give the hotter and hotter take to get you to pay attention.
They had us vote for 3 long snappers at media days.
I know.
Seriously.
But by the way, the day after the NFL draft, they have the mock draft for the next year.
I know. Thank you, Barry. John up next on this Reaction Monday. Hey, bud.
John.
Man, that was maybe one of the most mind-boggling games I've ever sat through. Just being there and just seeing Carolina and y'all talk about specific play maybe. I don't know. I mean, to me, it definitely all changed when Lenoris went down. You could say whatever you want to about what they did with the play calling, even when Lenoris was still in there. But you could just see the energy, the atmosphere level with the crowd, the players, the coaches, just everybody went down when Lenoris went down. But what was really shocking to me is just how Carolina's down. 3 turnovers happened after that. Defensive penalties. Dylan Stewart gets kicked out of the game. Not the first time we've seen him do something boneheaded like that. The only difference is now instead of just a 15-yard penalty, he gets kicked out. And I still don't even know exactly what he did. All it looked like he did was just shove a little bit more after the play.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, you got to keep your heads on, and you have to still play with the fire and intensity, especially on defense, because now that your leader on offense is gone, you guys have got to step up and carry the load. And I didn't see that the other night. And I said this yesterday when I called up satellite radio. I can't remember ever seeing a Clayton White defense truck like that ever.
Right.
And one more thing, Jay.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. And this did not make the difference in the ball game. I don't think we would have won had it played out. But why on earth, from the time Lenoris went down to why did it take all the way to Luke snapping the ball for the referee to buzz down at that point?
Yeah, that's a great point, man.
You had a commercial break. You had time for Luke to warm up, and you had time for Luke to run to the huddle and call the play in. Why did you buzz down when he took the snap and Lenoris is all the way halfway to Shaw Air Force Base?
That's we have not gotten to that specific point yet. John, thank you as always, man. Glad the Cowboys won because he had an even worse weekend. I don't know about that last one, and that is a tremendous fault and responsibility of the replay room, the guy upstairs, Birmingham. Whomever, you can't blame the on-field guys.
No, that was Birmingham.
That's either again. There's somebody in the booth at the stadium, and there's people in the command center at conference headquarters, and somebody that was that. And Shane was 100% right to go off the way he did.
You can't let them snap the ball and start running the play, and then
it was
blow
a good
the play dead.
And what might have happened on that?
And by the way, Harbor is still running.
Beautiful.
If you're
it's a
driving,
beautiful play call.
If you're driving on I-20 today, you would see Nick Harbor running with the football.
That's right. I don't know, John. And again, we are very unlikely to hear an explanation other than we've addressed it internally with the SEC.
Exactly.
Drive around the SEC. More of your calls next.
Taking a quick look on the roads. Accidents, Two Notch Road at Muddy Springs Road, also Hardin Street near Divine Street. Forum Drive at Fashion Drive, Clemson Road at Longtown Road, Bluff Road at Lower Richland Boulevard as well. And, of course, we have all of our construction at I-26, I-20, and I-126 to deal with, and also the bridge at Blink Bonnie Road also being worked on. We'll get back in here. Drive Around the SEC is next on the Postgame Show on a Reaction Monday. Your calls as well. Hang in there on the AAA Heating and Air Hotline. We'll get to you here on the Postgame Show on the game.
It is Drive Around the SEC time. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. Get back into your phone calls in just a second. Michael, you'll be up first, so sit tight for me. I meant to tell Barry when he called and I don't think he was complaining about Jadeveon Clowney, just that maybe JD didn't turn into, Reggie White or something. But if y'all missed it, Jadeveon Clowney's now a Dallas Cowboy.
Yep.
Because Jera realized, we do need an edge pass rusher.
Yeah. That whole, we don't need to worry about that pass rush. We got to stop the run. Right. Yeah, Russell Wilson threw for 450.
My goodness.
Russell Wilson, let me repeat that.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson threw for 450.
We had the Tennessee-Georgia game on Saturday, and then we had that Giants game yesterday. So here's the funny thing. Mm-hmm. My wife and one of my daughters went to see the Downton Abbey film yesterday.
I'm so sorry. Great.
They loved it. No, they came home.
My girlfriend loves some Downton Abbey.
They came home raving about it. And my wife says, I had it on Red Zone. Sunday.
Of course.
And she's like, have the Cowboys played? I was like, yeah, they won. You should see it. And she was like, what happened? So she's looking at the highlights later. She's like, oh my God. It's like, yeah.
Game was insane.
It was crazy.
It was insane.
But J.D. Clowney, if y'all missed it, is a Dallas Cowboy. So good for everybody.
I'll say this: at this point in the season, you're not going to find a better edge player available than Jadeveon Clowney.
You and I have talked about it. Look, his trading card stats have not always been the best, but the PFF numbers, the second level, third level numbers, he still affects games.
It's interesting. He's good against the run, and he gets pressures. He just doesn't finish them with sacks all the time.
Right.
So you look at his PFF numbers, you see pressures and quarterback, affecting the quarterback. He just doesn't get a lot of sacks at times. But he does play the run, and he does some things that can help you. But no one's thinking he's going to be putting on a really cool Hall of Fame jacket. But he can still help you at this point in his career when you're the Dallas Cowboys and you need somebody.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully he comes into your town in good shape. Hopefully you're not bringing him in on a flatbed truck, so to speak. Right. Hopefully he's ready to rock and roll.
He's ready. Hope so. All right. Michael, you're up next, man. Thanks for your patience. How are you? Welcome in.
Hey, Michael.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Good.
I got 2 points I'm going to make. I'm trying to be real quick. But, Terry, you made a really good point earlier about that interception in red zone that changed the whole game. I want to further expand on that because Virginia Tech ran almost pretty much the exact same thing a week ago versus Virginia Tech. And it's just confusing to me that if you want Lenore Sellers to be a pocket quarterback, even though he's one of the most dynamic players in the country with the ball in his hands, hey, man, you do you. But if you're going to do that, at least have him prepared, because that seems like that's a film room thing that should have been discussed when going against Vandy's defense. I'm not sure why that wasn't a point of emphasis if that's already on tape. And on the second quick point I want to make is that I really was waiting to throw blame on Mike Shula because we usually do this every year with our offensive coordinators, but I knew it was an issue when it was, I think it was late third quarter or fourth quarter. It was 3rd and 7. I think it was the fourth quarter. We was down 2 touchdowns, 3rd and 7 in the fourth quarter and you decide to run a QB draw on 3rd and 7. I don't get it. You put Luke Doty in, you trying to win the game, and yet it still seems like that the offense is handcuffed either way. But I just want to get all opinions on that. Love y'all. Hope
all right, Michael. Appreciate it, buddy.
Appreciate you, man.
In terms of your first points about what they are doing in the film room, these are questions that ultimately come up through the course of a season in terms of what they're watching. And I assure you, not that they're lying. I don't mean it that way. And this is any coach anywhere, not Mike and Lenoris specifically. But. We work on a lot of things. Or, we talk about a lot of things. Hey, we discuss a lot of things. And we show them a lot of things. I mean, and they do. So I don't know. I can't sit here and say they didn't. I don't know. And they'll tell you they look at a lot of stuff in the film room because they do. And like we said, one of the things, Michael, that's unfortunate is that since Lenoris got hurt, not even midway through the second quarter, or midway, whatever it was. Anyway, second quarter, that we didn't get to see an in-game evolution of what it was that they were tweaking, or even what's the word I'm looking for, Terry? Not regress, but return to.
Yeah, get back to where you were.
Yeah, so. Again, I hate to be the shoulder shruggy guy, but I don't know because it's an incomplete sample.
But I mean, I know where Michael's going with the idea. Okay, that was on film the previous game. They dropped the zone blitz with the defensive tackle in that, and drop him in that area. A lot of teams do that. They take that from the old Pittsburgh Steelers back in the days. The Pittsburgh Steelers are famous for zone blitzes. And, you saw it on film, and if they missed it, then that's shame on them.
Right.
And if they didn't miss it and they set Lenoris up for, look, in this situation you're going to see this or that, then that's on Lenoris for not reading that. And that goes back to, again, first read, tight ends opening the end zone, bam, touchdown. But, again, those are one of those things, and Michael, I think it's a valid point to say, well, if that was on, they did that last week, man. You guys didn't catch that? And sometimes you hope they're catching it in the film room, and if they are, you're hoping you then apply it to the field because it's a two-step process, right?
Right. So Michael, good phone call. Appreciate it.
Yeah, always good hearing from you, man.
All right, drive around the SEC. Again, a lot to get to. Obviously, let's go real quick. Texas wins. Oklahoma
well, Arch Manning was booed, my friend.
Why?
They booed him.
Why? What are we doing here? They won by 17, and he's still learning. I mean, this is why people hate Texas. That's all.
Part of it really quick, and then we'll move on. Yeah. Two parts of it. Three. A, it's Texas.
Yeah.
B, what's his last name?
Not his fault.
Not his fault. And three, again, not his fault, all the hype around him.
Yeah, not his fault.
But that brings all this to a perfect storm. We're going to boo the guy
it's
in the first month of the season.
It's dumb.
By the way, that helps you when you get booed.
Yeah,
Did you know that?
It's dumb. I'm sorry.
It helps you a lot.
Because
you don't know you're playing at the level you don't want to play at. You don't know you're not playing well.
Oklahoma beat the hell out of Temple.
They did.
Ole Miss gets by Arkansas. Whew. Although maybe not as.
We talked about that though. Remember, you and I were saying, don't be surprised if Arkansas doesn't hang out there.
By the way, 6-point win. You know what the spread was?
What was it?
6.5.
I love when that happens.
Alabama beats Wisconsin. Auburn over USA. Although Auburn.
They shut it down in the second half, man. They were cooking. Yeah. They were cooking with butane.
Hugh was like, "Okay, I can't have any more plays run that I give Brent Venables." Seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
seriously.
They totally just shut her down there.
They scored 21 points in the second quarter, and they're like, "All right, we're good." And they just South Alabama wasn't going to score.
No.
Missouri all over Louisiana, and as Terry said, they're still running, but.
Hardy was
Ahmad
ridiculous.
Hardy, let's see. Let me give you the official numbers, y'all. 22 for 250, 3 scores, had a 71-yard home run drive.
Yeah, last time I saw him, he was at like a $150 or 60, and he was averaging like 100 yards a carry.
Marquise Davis had 20 for 113 and a touchdown.
You think they're going to try to establish a run game this Saturday, Jay?
No, I don't think it. You know what would be funny, though? I kid, right? Is that we did come out on Saturday night and see Prabula throw like 50 passes.
They run Hardy like 6 times.
Yeah. All his screen passes.
Oh, man.
But listen, obviously the game of the day was the Tennessee-Georgia game. Absolute thriller, instant classic, overtime. Georgia down 21. What a crazy first quarter. 4 touchdowns. I mean, it just bang, 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 bang. But there was no reason to panic, and Georgia doesn't panic.
No.
And then Tennessee didn't score in the second quarter. And at halftime, I promise you, Kirby was like, boys, it's all good.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
It's all good.
There was a fourth down in that game where Gunnar Stockton threw a ball into the right corner of the end zone, a low percentage throw on fourth down in a gigantic spot. And God love him. He dropped a dime. And that was one of the biggest plays of that game because if Georgia doesn't
that
convert
dime dropped and that touchdown that he dropped in the end zone.
Beautiful.
Man.
Just beautiful.
So he's going to be fine. Florida loses 20-10. Lagway was bad.
Terrible.
LSU's defense was
good. It depends. Now, if you're an LSU defensive back, Lagway was good.
Yeah, that's true. That's our drive around the SEC on the postgame show. All right, welcome back in. Final few minutes of the postgame show here on this Monday. Tomorrow, we're very busy. Brews Day. Ryan will be here. Shane Beamer speaks at 1. Shane will also have Carolina Calls. He and Todd from Backstreets right over that way.
Which way?
That way. On Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Speaking of nights, by the way, we have Monday Night Football tonight. I don't like the doubleheader. And are the West Coast people really clamoring for their own 7 o'clock game?
I don't know.
It's always early in the year. The answer is no.
Early in the year, they do these all the time.
It's dumb.
I like one Monday Night Football game.
But you know what?
Should be a
Here's the
showcase
thing.
game.
I'm pulling for the night game tonight. I'm pulling for both teams to lose, so I won't watch that one.
There you go, because your team
got host.
I wish I could disagree with you and just laugh at you for being a homer, but that was a crap call.
They got host.
Absolute crap call. Not that target, that whole thing.
Leverage.
That
the guy,
leveraging.
I was like, bro, he might have put his hand on him for a second, but he didn't. Like,
there was no true.
This is
leverage
not like what's the in gymnastics, the horse, like
the pommel horse.
Yeah, like he didn't do that.
He did not. That would have been fun if we would.
Oh yeah, maybe, at that point, I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
You deserve a 15-yarder, but good for you, man.
Everybody did a triple dismount after the Lundy flip or whatever. Exactly. But your guys got hosed. As much as I hate to agree with you.
That was terrible.
Ready for a little Jay versus the internet?
Well, before you do it, hang on.
Mm-hmm.
We did by the skin of the teeth. We had a winner in the wild card showdown.
Was it us?
No. So Elijah went 4-1.
Nice.
Okay. And now the rule, of course, is that you have to beat 2 of us. I went 3-2. You went 2-3. So sadly, you didn't hold up your end of the bargain. Nick went 2-3, but Duncan went 3-2. Duncan won the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker was total offense for Tennessee against Georgia. Duncan picked 365 to my 333. The Vols gained 496
I know.
yards. So Duncan wins, but Elijah went 4-1. I went 3-2. You went 2-3. So for the season, you and I are 6-9. Elijah is now distancing himself at 8-7. So Duncan, we will be in touch.
You think it's a fact that he's sitting there getting liquored up while you and I are doing the show? Has anything to do with it?
No, because by the time we're making these picks, I also was enjoying a totally legal West Coast IPA, which was spot on.
Yeah, but you were just starting.
True.
How long was Elijah sampling?
I picked every week. I do it right there. Yes.
Elijah, your turn. Okay.
Yes, that one.
What are you picking?
I like those helmets.
Those guys.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Jay versus the internet.
And Elijah was not that drunk, as far as you know.
As far as you know. Houston -2.5 tonight versus Tampa Bay.
Well, Houston just lost to the Braves, so maybe the Braves sent him down to Florida feeling bad. Houston.
And giving 2.5 to Tampa Bay.
Oh, wait, you're asking me about the
spread.
I'm sorry, you're asking me about the football game.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking baseball. I'm sorry. But these are usually baseball games.
Not now.
No. Tampa. It's in Tampa?
No, the game's in Houston.
All right, Houston covers.
Okay, Houston covers, giving Tampa 2.5. The Chargers.
I don't like that one.
And really, the Chargers don't have a home game. And
no,
Vegas doesn't either because it's only a bunch of like drunk tourists.
Correct.
The Chargers -3.5 against Vegas.
And that's in L.A.?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there'll be more Raider fans there. Chargers are better, though.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers cover.
Yep. Little prop for you, sir.
Okay.
In the Tampa Bay-Houston game, Buccaneers and Texans, not Astros and Rays.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Baker Mayfield over/under 232.5 yards passing.
Under.
There you go. See how easy that was?
Yeah, sorry.
Once you realize what sport we were playing.
Well, again, usually, you know what? I'm just so used to them being baseball props.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about... I was thinking about football. I'm sorry.
Well, up until now, we had baseball, and baseball to choose from.
Yeah.
And now we got a little football action in here.
Two. Again, I don't like 2 Monday night games. But
made Jay versus the internet easy.
Whatever. UCLA, speaking of football teams in LA, also fired Deshaun Foster. So
you know what? Shouldn't that be a good job? And it's not.
It has, since Coach Donahue, they have massively underachieved. I know it's not a so-called football school. I think decades ago, clearly, Southern Cal decided we're a football school, and UCLA decided we're a basketball school. And that's just kind of the way it's been, because UCLA, as a public school, could be awesome.
Should be a giant.
At everything.
Yes, absolutely.
And they are great at most things, but not football. See y'all tomorrow.